Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Shawna show. How are you doing in this lovely Tuesday afternoon? If you're joining us live, say hi. Let me know where you're coming in from. If you're on the replay, give me a hashtag replay so we can say hi later. And for those of you that I have not met yet, my name is Shawna Roche, and I'm a transformational coach. And I work with my clients to help them through fear, doubt, and uncertainty into love, expansion, and possibilities into creating the life of their dreams. So having said that, that's who I am. And I'm here on the show to introduce to you today to a dear friend of mine and Colleen, sorry. I was going to call you the Crystal Lady. I'm like a dear friend of mine, the Crystal Lady. I laugh. That's how I refer to you sometimes. I'm like, oh, she's my Crystal Lady.
Hi, Shawna.
Thank you for joining me today, Colleen. That's hilarious.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness. So for those of you who don't know Colleen, oh my goodness. So she is my crystal lady. I call her that. My crystal guru. So with her lifelong interest in the metaphysical world and natural remedies, it was no surprise that Colleen's love for rocks, gems, and crystals began very early. Not only did her rock collection grow as she grew, so did her knowledge of them, their properties, their history, and the benefits they could provide to people, animals, plants, nature, and the world. Oh, you know what? I love that. We need to talk about that because I keep forgetting about the animals. So yes, definitely. Colleen is married and a mother of 2 adult daughters, beautiful daughters. I've had the honor of meeting them. And Colleen used the time after becoming an empty nester to explore her love for crystals even further and taking courses, attending seminars and expos. She has strong intuition on how crystals can help us and how to channel their energy to other people, animals, plants, and wants to share that with you so you can enjoy the benefits of crystals in your life too. Colleen is an accredited advanced crystal healer, elemental space clearing practitioner, certified red lotus practitioner, Reiki practitioner, intuitive oracle card reader, and is certified in other modalities. I know you're just like I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So thank you again, Colleen, for being here and welcome. I'm excited to have you here because today we are going to talk about crystals in your everyday life and finding your way with an excessive amount of information available. Crystals, energy, healing, and balancing. I get getting excited because when I think of crystals, I think of when I went to that crystal store for the first time in Calgary. What was it called? Gems. Yeah, Earth Gems. And how I was just like, wow, this is amazing.
It's amazing.
It is. Like me being, anything I'm new at, a little newbie. It's like, oh, I want them all. I don't know, like $400 worth of crystals. It's just, I was like, and that one, and that one, and that one. So let's talk about the crystals. Also, let's just start right now. I'm kind of feeling like the grounding. Let's talk about crystals for grounding and yeah.
So with any type of work that you do, any kind of inner work, I truly believe grounding is really important. So there's many, many ways to ground. My personal favorite, of course, is crystals. So, and I do it based on the chakras. So color associated, the base chakra is your grounding chakra. And that's just at the base of your spine. And the blacks, the browns, and the reds are all kind of the colors. So when you're choosing your crystals, any crystal that kind of calls to you or that helps you feel grounded. So if it ends up that it's a really dark blue or something, it's just really important to use your intuition. I personally carry a red jasper in my right pocket and black tourmaline in my left pocket. Why? I have no idea. It's just how it happened. And if I do it the opposite way, because I like to test things, I find that I get that much more scattered. So for me, that's what works. So you can, and grounding, you can wear bracelets, you can wear pendants, you know, so it's not limited where you have the crystal or how you use it. You can even just sit with the crystal and hold it in your hand while you do your grounding visualization. So for grounding, like I said, there's so many ways. The easiest one for visualization is to just think of yourself as a tree and that your legs are the roots and they've gone way down in the ground and that they're really held strong. And then it doesn't matter what blows you on this side of the earth. You're not going to break. It's like a tree. It's got to be a pretty big hurricane to get that tree off the ground, right? So it's just really solid and grounding.
Wow. You know what? I love that. I love the visualization too, because I have the crystals and I've used different ones for grounding, but it's like I never thought, yeah, I love the visualization. Thank you. Thank you. Red jasper, you just kind of intrigued me there for a minute. So I have green jasper, and then I have, I think it's a spotted jasper or something. But so what's
jasper maybe?
Yeah. So what is it? Does it matter the colors within the crystal family?
Not particularly, but the color, as I mentioned, like the red jasper, the reason I associate it with the grounding is mainly because it's more towards the earth color, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, so that for me is what works. Now, for you, very easily, it may be your spotted one. But it's my whole thing with there are no rules, only tools. So if the red works for me and I suggest it to you, you might find that it doesn't. And, you know, you'll know when you actually pick up that crystal, whether you're in the store or at home, you'll be able to tell. It's almost like it'll give you the message because they kind of speak to us.
Right. Right. I love you said that. And so you said too, like you have one in your left pocket and one in your right. And you said that's how you feel. So there's, like you said, there's no rules that either. Let's go into that a bit. Because your left side is your feminine and your right side's your masculine. No, I'm saying that. I'm looking at the camera. It's opposite of what I'm doing. Your right side's your masculine, your left side's your feminine.
Yeah, so honestly, I don't have a rhyme or reason to it. It's really, really so when we talked about that there's so much information, and there is, I mean, you could spend your life Googling. It doesn't matter which modality or which interest you have. But what I found is that I was getting really, really bogged down in all of the information. Well, if you want to do this intention, you have to do step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I was like, who decided that that's how it's supposed to be? You know, it's like whether it's the mystical world or the spiritual world or even the corporate world, we are so entrenched in dogmas, the rules, that we just believe that that's what we have to do. And I am really, really finding, and especially this year more so, is I'm learning more about myself, and learning more to listen to myself. So the intuition, the inner knowing, why is that way? I'm not honestly sure, but I'm getting a message from somewhere and it's telling me that that's what's good or right for me and my highest good. So that's the route that I should be following.
I love that you said that. And I know like certain crystals, like there's ones for bringing in like, you know, whatever it is, like if you're wanting to bring in strength or grounding or prosperity or love, you know, like rose quartz for love. I know that those crystals do a certain thing. You can bring in for whatever you're going through at that time for your healing. But I also love that you like how you go by your intuition and no rules. Because there's some times where I have a tray of my crystals and I just for the heck of it, right? I like to put my hand out and just feel. and just feel the energy and go, okay, this one's calling to me today. And so today, and I laughed because I'm not like you. I don't know what all the crystals are. And I can't remember what this one is, but it's like greeny.
It's hard to tell, but is it got green and kind of purple?
It's more so green with a little bit of gold in it. And it looks like, yeah. Anyway, it says courage on it.
Okay.
Right. And so I know it's hard to tell the color. And when I bought all my crystals or all my rocks, I took a picture of them at the time. So I have to go back and look at the picture. But this one was calling to me today. And I was thinking a green jasper, but I don't think it's not, because the green jasper's more got the little bit of black and white in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It looks like it could maybe be fluorite, but it's really hard to tell.
I think that's what it is. So that was just calling out to me today. And I love it because I have when I was first diving into crystals, like you said, people tell you different things. So I have friends that, like, you put the crystals in your bras, and they're like, oh yeah, I put crystals in my bras. And I laughed because these ones are like bigger and heavier. And I was like, so I was playing around. They go, oh, well, what feels good where?
I'll confess, I do not have any crystals in my bra. I can't stand them there.
These ones are bad because they're flat, but then when you take your bra off at the end of the night, the rocks fall on the floor with a bang, and it's like, oh crap.
Now, I will admit I do have them in my shoes and in my jean pocket, and I have a tendency to fall downstairs and break things. Well, you've witnessed that. Not the falling part, but the aftermath with a big boot in Mexico.
Yeah.
And so I have very, not the size you just showed, but very, very small little chunk malachite, black tourmaline for grounding, and they're very tiny, just at the very back of my shoe, so they're not something I walk on or yeah. So that's again a grounding, right?
Yeah, I love that you said that. So, and you brought up black tourmaline a couple times. Is that the stone that they say if you're on a computer or you're around electronics that you should have that beside you because it helps with the
EMFs?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it can. So will black hematite.
Okay.
But yeah, black tourmaline it's really striated or whatever. Do you see all the little lines in it? Yeah. So it's kind of my go-to kind of guy. Amazing at the front door for clearing energy coming and going, whether it's good energy or bad energy, because sometimes just energy sticks. Yeah. So I have a nice piece at the front door that just sits there and does its work. Yeah. 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 Keeps my house grounded.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And you have a giant, it looks like a selenite behind you. So what is selenite? That helps too.
Selenite is, it's mostly for clearing. So, or cutting cords, cutting energy cords. You can use black or the white kyanite. And it clears, purifies is the word I'm looking for. Purifies the energy. It works a lot like the Himalayan salt lamps.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good for that, just overall purifying.
Okay. I love it, love it, love it. I know I have some of them all over. Again, I buy them because I'm like, oh, this is pretty. And then later,
what do I do with it?
Exactly. What do I do with it?
Whatever you want with it.
I love it. I just love it. And so let's talk about for a minute. So there are ones for grounding. There's ones for like, just give us some examples of different things that people would use them for.
So probably a favorite of everyone is love. So the pink and the green crystals. Pink is the modern chakra color, and green is the traditional. So malachite is a beautiful, beautiful green stone. Chrysocolla is another one. Your green jade. Aventurine is another one. And then in the pinks, you've got rose quartz, rhodonite. What did you just reach for?
I think this is adventuring.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, so that's a big one, is love, of course. And then another big one is abundance. Everybody wants to talk about abundance, whether it's financial, emotional, mental, or whatever, abundance, prosperity. So for that one, citrine, great, great, great. Citrine is awesome. Citrine is also awesome if you're trying to sell your house or looking to buy a house. It's a house mover stone. Pyrite, which is also known as fool's gold. You've seen it, pyrite.
I have a big piece of
green. Any of the kind of the golds and the greens and the kind of yellows. What else do people? Anxiety is a big one. Anxiety, again, your black tourmaline is really good. And some of the light blue crystals. So aquamarine, blue lace agate, Larmar, those kind of stones are great. Yeah.
That's good that you said anxiety, because like definitely like anxiety, stress, like just everything everybody's going through right now and all that, the fear emotions, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and a big part of that anxiety and stress is, and I kind of look at stress and anxiety as two separate. Yeah. Stress is kind of like what's going on around us and we can control, whereas anxiety more often than not is something that we haven't quite figured out where it's coming from, and it comes from within. Yes. Like it's internal, whereas stress is more external. Right. But one feeds off of the other, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So are they different stones different crystals you would use?
Not particularly, no. Anxiety, again, you would want the self-love that you had mentioned. Yeah. So that's a big one, is, treat yourself with care and give yourself the love with the pink stones. And then the stress is, when you're experiencing stress, it's usually because you see the problem or the issue as being bigger than life itself. And if you check in with yourself, you're probably not that grounded. So then you want to go back to the basics of being grounded.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, and we have a question here. Hey, Kristen, thank you for joining us. Oh, watermelon tourmaline. Ooh, I have some of that too. Ooh. What do you recommend that for?
Well, you've got the pinks and the greens right there. So definitely it's got both the modern and the traditional love, the heart chakra, right? Also, watermelon and tourmaline is, like you said, it's gorgeous. It's very expensive generally. So it's not a really, really common stone in everybody's toolkit because of the pricing of it. Yeah. But I kind of lean towards it for, because my piece is quite small. So when I'm struggling with developing something new or sitting down to write some content or journaling, the creativity side is I'll just sit with it between my thumb and my forefinger and kind of just roll it, almost like a worry stone.
Yeah.
And I just find that kind of helps to open up that creative valve. So that's one of my ways of using it. I love
that you said that, because I actually have a piece. Well, I have three. I was at a thing in Montreal years ago with my friend, and it was like a gemologist. And so I bought a beautiful polished tourmaline for a necklace, and then a couple smaller ones for earrings. And I was drawn to it and I absolutely loved it, but I never even looked at it as, oh, okay, to use it that way. I'm like, oh, thank you. I love it.
Yeah. So that's a good one. And then another thing that comes to mind and I can't honestly say if this is a property that the books recommend. I could look it up for you, but is the third eye. It just kind of, I don't know, it just sort of popped in. And I think it's the combination and the colors and how they kind of meld together. And I think it would be really, really good for opening your third eye. So connection to source and to spirit and just kind of opening up your intuition.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What other stones do you suggest for opening up to your intuition?
Amethyst is one of my faves. Lapis lazuli is another favorite. I absolutely love lapis lazuli for anything to do with the third eye.
What does that one look like?
Lapis lazuli is blue, and I don't have one close by. It's kind of a dark blue, and it's got like gray kind of swirls through it.
Ah, okay.
So sodalite is blue, but with white speckles.
Oh,
whereas, so it almost looks like a spotted stone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's sodalite. Whereas where you see the white, whoops, sorry. Where you see the white, it would be more grayish, bluey.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what's the one with the blue and the leopard spots of, I think, a white?
Leopard spots?
Yeah, it looks like leopard spots, blue with a bit of
What color leopard spots?
I'm trying to remember because it's in my office. I'm not in my office.
Is it light blue, dark blue?
Kind of like the blue of your top, maybe a little bit darker, like a royal blue.
I don't know.
Maybe it is.
Off of my
head. My girlfriend got me, it was cute because my power animal is a hippo. So she got me a little hippo in that specific stone from Earth Gems. So anyway, it's really
cool.
Yeah, it's cute.
So he's blue with spots. You have to send me a picture of him.
I'll send you a picture. Cool. So let's talk about this. So I love that you say there's no rules, only tools. And then like cleansing your stones.
So there are a multitude of ways to cleanse stones. And my recommendation for anyone starting out or that isn't really familiar is to use the moon or sage smudge or sound. And the main reason for that, so moon, it can be 2 hours, 4 hours, it can be overnight. If it's cloudy, the moon energy still comes through. It's said that you can use the full moon for endings and the new moon for beginnings. So for setting intentions or for ending something, you know. Again, that's personal choice, but it's a guideline. Yeah. A sage smudging is just that, if you're familiar with smudging. So it's just the burning of sage and then feathering the smoke over your crystals. Yeah. And sound can be drumming, bells, singing bowls, gongs, whatever works for, you know, or whatever you enjoy. So those three are my kind of go-to for cleansing. And the main reason being is, depending on your crystals, sunlight can fade it. Or it can start a fire. Very rare. But if you had an absolutely beautiful, clear quartz, put it out in that sunshine at 100 degrees and the light hits the quartz the right way, it can ignite, right?
Like a magnifying glass then.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. Water is also another way. But the reason I recommend staying away from water is unless you absolutely know the mineral content of your stones, you can damage them. So the selenite that you were talking about earlier, if you were to put that in the water and walk away, when you came back, it would probably be gone, dissolved.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if it has a Mohs hardness of less than 5, it should not go in water.
Yeah.
So rather than find out the hard way, I just recommend.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some that I know absolutely, like quartz. They can go in the running water. So if I've gone to the ocean or into nature and there's a stream, definitely I'll put them in a little mesh bag, and put them in the water. And I love doing it, but you just have to be careful. And the other one you have to be careful of is salt, because sometimes salt, especially because it's recommended to use Himalayan salt and to give your crystals a bath in that. And that's, again, it's awesome, but some crystals will be damaged in salt.
Ah, okay. What if you have a salt brick? You can set them on there for charging too?
Absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of people use the selenite bars as a clearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. I have the salt brick. It's actually funny. I bought it, I don't know, the salt cave. And I bought it originally. This is cute, because apparently it's amazing to cook, like, say, steak or eggs to use to cook, but it really isn't that big, like maybe, I don't know, 8-inch square, if that kind of thing. And it's quite thick. I actually use it in my office under my feet, because I find that actually helps.
Grounding. Yeah, I have one as well.
Yeah, because I use it when I'm in my office in the winter months, because in the nicer months I'm out in the sunroom. So
right. Yeah.
And because of my view, or I'm out on my lower deck, I feel grounded. But then the winter months, when you're in your house and you're cooped up, I feel all of a sudden that I don't feel that same grounding. So that's when I use it to put my feet on.
Yep, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Kristen has another. What about setting on dirt from houseplant to clear?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So in my one thing on cleansing, I think I've got that you can bury them in the earth. And I also recommend that if you're going to do that you probably put them in a little flower pot before you bury them in the earth, and maybe put a little flag so you remember where you put them. But absolutely, two things will happen. One is the earth will help cleanse your plants, but your plants will love the crystals. Yeah, so I have like little green crystals and river rocks in my plants. So nope, definitely that's a great way. Another way that is quick and simple is to just hold your crystals and then just blow your main breath on them 3 times or 5 times or whatever your magical number is.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of that either. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, because, I mean, what we want to do is we want to make it easy. Yeah. I mean, if I had to take all of my crystals and put them out in the moonlight, I would be putting them back before I got them out. Like, it just wouldn't happen. So the idea is to, I've got some that I work with lots. I've got a phantom quartz that I work with all the time. And he gets his moon bath quite regularly because he knows everything that's going on inside here. So he needs his cleansing and love too,
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love that. And I love that you said for plants. You also we also talked about for your animals too.
Yes. So well, I've got a new puppy and we know he is not at the woo-woo stage yet. But I know you've got 2 dogs and they probably already gravitate to the crystals, do they?
You know what? I've never really paid attention before.
Yeah, I think if you kind of watched, yeah. And you'll find, depending, like say you've got an overactive dog and not in the puppy stage, I mean, just an overactive dog, rose quartz. So my previous pup, Foxy, she wore a little rose quartz pendant on her collar. So not that she was a misbehavior, but she was quite she was a rescue dog, so she was quite anxious and anxiety, and she would, you know, was a little bit afraid of new people. And so we just gave her a rose quartz. But when I'd be working with my crystals, like she would just come and lay, you know, kind of, and you can use the crystals if they're not feeling good. Just place the crystals on their body or around their body. And yeah. So much the same as what you do with yourself is you can take to your animals.
I love that. I need to put some rose quartz in Cody's color.
And the only thing I recommend there is I generally tell people to use tumbled, or, you know, you don't want something that's going to sliver for like an animal, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow. Huh. I wonder if that's why, because I had other spots of my office, because I have a wraparound desk where Cody would lay on the one side all the time. But then when I put the salt brick on the ground and put my feet on it, now he lays by that.
See, he knows what he's doing.
I feel grounded.
And they have that inner sense, that inner knowing, without all of our stuff, right? It just comes natural to them.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love that you said that. And then, and then the chakras too, because each chakra is a different color. So if you're working with your chakras, do you then work with a stone that matches that color?
To that? Yeah, that's the super easy way. There are other ways, but like we want to make it easy. We want to fit it into our lifestyle. So when you're working with one chakra or another, pick the crystals that color is, wear those colors, or eat those color foods. You know, all of that can just help boost that chakra. And when I do the crystal chakra work, I do it color corresponding.
Okay.
Yeah. So red, orange, yellow, green or pink, light blue, dark blue, purple.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
When you're looking at the chakra chart.
Yeah.
It just, and there's no one crystal for each chakra that's better than another. You know, it's kind of, again, your personal preference. Because we don't want to have to go out and buy a whole bunch more crystals. Well, we do, but we want to start working with them without having to go buy more. So if you've got one that maybe is close to this color, then I just say go for it. Give it a try.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you said that. I love it. And I mean, I have my bracelets, right? That I bought the stones at Earth Gems, and then I learned, my neighbor taught me how to make bracelets. And so it's like certain days it's like, okay, I'm drawn to the pink today. Okay, I'm drawn to the green today. And it's like, I'll be drawn to different ones. And it's just like, yeah. And then I put them on and it's like, oh, okay, this feels good.
Yeah. So see, you're intuitively picking your colors and what you need without giving it conscious thought.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I love that. And you have, you have your crystal course, right?
Yeah, I do.
Do you run that certain times, or is it, how does it?
Historically, it's been run 3 times a year. I'm in the middle of reevaluating sort of all of that. I mean, I think everybody's reevaluating since 2020 on what the future kind of looks like. Yeah. So I haven't really set a date for a new launch, possibly November, and then potentially it'll go as a continuous.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. And do you have, because I know at one point I looked and you had like just a little mini thing you could download or something that talked about.
Yes. So it's actually a crystal cleansing. What's the word? The how and why of crystal cleansing. And it just gives you all of the different ways and what to watch out for, what not to watch out for. You know, like there's crystal sprays, there's all sorts of different ones. So it just kind of gives you an overview of different ways of cleansing. Yeah, and it's available on my website. It's completely free.
Yeah, www.colleenbruce.com.
No, cccrystals.com.
Oh, right. Sorry. C.
Crystals.
And then another C for crystals.
Yep. So 3 C's.
Okay. Okay. Crystal. Sorry, crystal healing, right?
No, just crystals.com.
Oh. I only have one coffee today. See crystals, and my computer's far away, so I'm like, okay, .com. CC. Okay, hopefully this is right. If not, I will change it later. www.cccrystals.com. I think I got it now.
I think you got it. Looks great, Shawna.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Wow. Okay, there we go. I will also add it. Yeah, I'll put it up in the comments above too, so people can take a look at that. They can connect with you through CC Crystals. You also have a Facebook page. Yep. That's is that CC Crystals as well? Your Facebook page? I'm trying to remember.
It's Crystals 123.
Crystals 123. That's your Facebook page. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm happy to answer any questions, share any information. I love to just share it. So
yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna look up the link and then I'll put the link in after. Cool. No, because it was just coming up. So this has been awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us, Colleen. As always, it's been wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Those of you joining us live and on the replay, if you have any questions about crystals and healing, just put in the comments and we will get back to you. And thank you so much for joining me today, Colleen. This has been wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me. I loved it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Take care.